You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are, and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I am going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, brilliant soul. For so long, people have asked a question that never seems to yield any sort of relief. And that particular question is, why do good things happen to people who behave poorly? Or why do good things happen to bad people? The reason why I qualified it in the first format is because in the universal perspective, there is no true good or bad, but I also want to be plain and simple here. And this is a good question that is rightly so steeped in frustration and disappointment, not to mention the sense of unfairness that comes with it. It's a question that arises in moments when life doesn't match the moral equations that we were taught to believe. It's asked when the world feels unbalanced, when outcomes seem misaligned, when luck finds the person who hasn't been acting so kindly. You've likely heard this question. You may have wondered it yourself. And many people cling to it in an attempt to make sense of why life unfolds in the way that it does. The more I have experienced, the more I have observed, the more I've studied how consciousness works and how our inner world shapes our outer experience, the more I feel that this particular question is aimed at the wrong target. It's not the inquiry we should be focused on. It actually points us away from the deeper truth rather than towards it. Focusing on why good things happen to bad people keeps us stuck in an outdated paradigm where morality dictates our outcomes and a belief that the universe should reward virtue. But energetics aren't factoring in this. So what we should be curious about instead is this. Why do hard things happen to strong people? This is the question that cracks open our deeper understanding. It's a question that introduces an entirely different spiritual architecture because it reveals a truth that so many of us intuitively know, but forget when we're in the middle of a difficult moment. This is the question, though, that reorients your focus away from the unfairness of life and towards the deeper intelligence that moves through it. Because what I have come to observe is that people are not tested because they are weak. They are not challenged because they are unlucky. They are not stretched because they are inadequate. People meet hard things because they are strong and because their inner world contains the capabilities, tools, emotional depth, and spiritual maturity that allows them to navigate and transform experiences that others might not be able to hold or even more learn from. This is a conversation about a curriculum that is designed for a strong person. When you shift your inquiry from why them to why me, and then refine it to what does my strength have to do with this, you unlock an entirely different identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is burdened by life and start seeing yourself as someone who life recognizes, a creator, a steward, a leader who is capable of making the world a better place than the way they found it. Strength is defined by the ability to hold a large emotional range without collapsing. It's the endurance to stay present inside experiences that require depth. It's the consciousness to examine your own patterns, the resilience to rebuild after experiencing a loss, and the spiritual intelligence to grow through circumstances that don't have surface level answers. Strength is the willingness to meet complexity without abandoning yourself, and the courage to stay open-hearted in moments that could knock you down. And it's the recognition that your soul came into this lifetime with an appetite for evolution rather than for stagnation. A strong soul has a different energetic curriculum. Some people come into this life to stabilize. They seek predictability, comfort, gentleness, and consistency because their soul is in a season where that's what they need. Life accommodates it. Life meets them with the experiences that match this capacity. And then strong souls arrive with a different blueprint. Their path involves experiences that initiate them, activate them, and call them into their own becoming. And if you're listening to this episode, if you're listening to this podcast, you're likely someone whom this resonates with. Your path could include moments that require courage and clarity and integrity, intuition, compassion, perseverance, as well as emotional depth. Your path is shaped through encounters that carve out space inside of you for the wisdom that you will then one day use to lead, teach, create, support, inspire, guide, uplift, or love with the breadth and depth of your heart. Hard things don't happen to strong people because they need to be punished. Hard things happen to strong people because the experience itself is an activation of the strength that's already present within them. It's a reminder that their soul is equipped for the very things that they're facing, the very things you're facing. A person who has never been stretched remains unseasoned. A person who has never been challenged remains untempered. A person who avoids every wave of difficulty never learns how powerful they truly are. Your strong moments are revealed inside of your hard moments. Your strength does not show itself in the chapters where everything is smooth. It shows itself in the chapters where your resilience grows roots. So when a difficult experience enters your life, instead of asking why you attracted it or what you did wrong or why life seems to target you, consider this. Life does not place a heavy stone in the hands of someone too fragile to carry it. Life places the stone in the hands of someone whose inner world contains the fortitude to hold it and examine it and learn from it and transform because of it. This is the remembering that equips you to make the most of the moments where you're feeling the most challenged, to become a masterful alchemist, changing lead into gold and coal into diamonds. Think about one of the hardest experiences you have ever lived through. At the time, it likely felt overwhelming and disorienting, as it should have. You may have felt lost or scared. And yet, when you look back, can you trace the qualities that were awakened within you through that particular season? Can you recognize that the strength you carry today was shaped in part by that chapter? Your wisdom grew, your discernment sharpened, your capacity expanded, your boundaries improved. You likely discovered something about yourself you had not known before. You didn't rise because the path was easy. You rose because you're the kind of person who rises. Hard things test you, and you discover who you really are within them. This is what people so often miss seeing. That strength is revealed, not granted. It's realized, not gifted. It unfolds through lived experience and not through contemplation alone. And strong souls have this unique ability to metabolize life in a way that creates depth, meaning, wisdom, and transformation. This doesn't mean you have to enjoy your challenges. It doesn't mean you have to spiritualize your pain or pretend that everything is fine. You can have moments of fear and frustration and grief. Strong people feel everything. They don't harden, they deepen. They stay awake inside of their experiences. And this precisely is what makes them so strong. Hard moments shape your emotional and spiritual intelligence. They teach you how to navigate unpredictability with presence instead of panic. They teach you how to rebuild when circumstances shift. They teach you how to trust yourself, how to honor your needs, how to choose alignment over approval, how to remain anchored in your own center, even when your outer world feels like too much. So when life hands you an experience that stretches you, instead of asking, why me? Try asking, what part of my strength is being activated right now? What quality is being shaped within me? What wisdom is being revealed through this? Where am I being asked to evolve? These kinds of questions change things because they return you to your center and reconnect you with your identity as someone who is capable, resilient, and strong, which you are. Strong souls move through this world as if they're walking forward. Sometimes it's a quiet walking. Sometimes it's really noticeable and grandiose. Sometimes a strong soul shows this through their work and sometimes through their presence. They are the anchors, the lighthouses, the steady hands, the wise hearts, the ones who grew through their own experiences and then choose to carry that wisdom into their communities and relationships, families, businesses, creative callings, and everything else. And none of that strength emerges without experiences that refine, challenge, and sculpt the one who is in the driver's seat. So if your life has felt heavier at times, this is not because you're built incorrectly or doing it wrong. It's because you were built with this deep capacity to hold incredible things. You were built to develop an emotional intelligence that is forged in fire. You were built for this chapter and every chapter of your life, no matter what it looks like right now. And you are capable of using the tools that you are given in each of those moments to build a life that is meaningful and feels fulfilling. And the more you recognize that your challenges are serving you by calibrating you, the more you can begin to feel inner peace. Before we close today, I want you to reflect on one experience that once felt impossible for you. Gently bring it to your mind. Look at who you became because you lived through that experience. Look at the qualities you carry now that didn't exist in the same form before that challenge that you had. Chances are you can see the glimmers in the places that you grew and evolved and discovered aspects of yourself that were previously unknown to you. The question isn't why you, as a good person with a huge heart, have experienced these kinds of hard moments. The question is, why did life recognize you in your depth and hand you experiences to match it? And the answer is simple, because you are strong enough to hold them, grow through them, rise beyond them, and strong enough to carry the wisdom they awakened within. And with that, I want to say thank you for being here today and for being someone who is willing to look within, someone who is committed to evolving, and someone who is ready to remember who they really are. Challenge accepted, locked and loaded. Until next time.